Hi friends, welcome to the program. Hey, we've got a great adventure coming your way today. We're going to go north to chase after some of the biggest brook trout you're likely to ever see. Now, I should tell you, if you grew up like I did in the upper Midwest, you probably spent some time pushing through the bushes, working along the edge of a little creek, trying to sneak out a couple of, brook trout from some beaver dam in some godforsaken, bug-infested corner of the world. Well, this is a trip to prove that brook trout fishing doesn't have to be like that. You see, my good friend Dan Fox and I are headed to Nakina, Ontario, where we're going to hook up with Eric Lund of Esnagami Lodge fame. And together, the three of us are going to take a motorized canoe down the Esnagami River, and it's rainy, and it's windy, and the fishing is tremendous. Yeah, we're going to do spin casting and fly fishing, but seeing as how I broke my spinning rod not 10 minutes into this trip, I'm going to do all the fly guy stuff, so is Eric. Dan's going to use spinning gear, and either way, to get up there and chase after these fighting trout, and they're huge. We're talking about fish, that go 15 to 20 inches, sometimes better, over 5 pounds. If you're a trout fisher person, if you're a fly guy or gal, if you just love to battle fish in a tremendously scenic and wild place, this is definitely a trip for you. Hey, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is My Wilderness Journal, and we're on the trail of tremendous trout right now.
There you go. Believe it or not, there's still trout in the Esnagami River, and they'll still take their big white zonkers, and they still weigh 3 or 4 pounds. Look at this. Right here. One time for the kids at home. Beautiful. Really? I haven't got a big enough hand to hold this fish. Look at that.
What a beautiful fish.
Jeez. That is real nice. Nice start. First fish. First fish. I'll tell you, Dan busted one off already. We're going to put him back right now. And start it up.
On just my second cast, I already had my first monster brook trout. I started untangling my stuff, getting the hook out of the net. I watched as Eric was working his line out, and then I looked down for just a second. When I looked up,
this is what happens, folks, when you turn your back on the cameraman and the guide. You become the cameraman and the guide, and they catch all the fish.
And is there anything wrong with that?
Well, I guess it depends on if you're me. How about that? Saddle, 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 buddy. Look at that trout. Nice fish, boss.
Settle down, boy. Boy, what a nice fish.
Oh, geez, that is a nice fish.
Go back.
All right.
Good.
So what do you think? Esnagami River is worth it?
This is like a little piece of heaven.
Isn't it?
It is.
Nice fish, boss.
Thank you.
Well done.
I teased Dan, but we were all fishing. We were all catching great fish. And all we were really doing was just working our way around to different parts of the same run. We started at the headwater and then worked down one side, caught a few fish, then worked back up the other side. There's lots of room to fish here. It's one of the nice things about this river. It's big enough you can actually work a fly line and not constantly get hung up. An important thing, especially if you're me. And just as I was getting out of the canoe to do a little wading,
Got a little more shoulder on it?
A little bit more shoulder.
Whoa, where'd you go?
There he's going. Whoa. We'll be back.
I'll be here.
I'll
start shoreline.
got coffee and muffins over there.
I'll start shoreline.
All right, this is a good fish right here.
Big fish.
Yeah, he's pretty big after all. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Wow. Easy. That is a handful right there. Tail right there. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful.
after releasing another great brookie, we continued to fish this run. We spread out some. I was working one side, Dan and Eric were working the other, and just as Eric started working his way down the far bank,
Oh. Wow. Woo. get a picture of him. Off he goes. Wow, that was fun.
We were having fun. In fact, not long after the guys came back and picked me up,
There, picnic. You got to work on setting the hook there.
You think?
Nice job.
I think I tapped him a little.
Oh yeah, you got him.
Look at that.
how many trout have we caught out of this 100-yard stretch?
Got to be bordering on 15 to 20 now.
Gotta be. And they're all small and they don't fight. Except for like the last 20. Look at that.
Whoa.
What a chunk.
That'll do till a good one comes
Yeah,
through.
it will.
If I haven't mentioned it before, this river's been pretty good to me.
The standard Randall release. Patented in 1968, I might add.
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy?
It was crazy. My kind of crazy. We were still fishing the first run. We hadn't left the first piece of water yet. On the very first run, less than 150 yards of water, we had already caught and released over 20 trout. And I'm not talking about trout. I'm talking trout. The brookies up there are amazing and voracious, and they fight so well in that current. It's, if you're a fisher person, it's kind of tough to beat this. And we had just finished the first run. We could have kept fishing there. I'm sure we could have caught more fish. We decided when the rain picked up, though, we'd use the time, move a little farther down the river, change the scenery if nothing else. And when it let up again, Eric hauled us up in the S-bend, a part of the river he knows pretty well. We spread out and got back to fishing, and it wasn't long before we were back on him. I tell you, I didn't ever want this day to end. We spread out across the face of this big sweeping rifle, and not long after we started, I hooked up. And then, as I was fighting the fish, I looked over, and Eric was hooked up.
Another good one right here. Fight hard.
First time, huh?
First time. Not bad. I'll take it.
Gorgeous, man.
Yeah, awesome fish. Awesome fish.
Right here on the S-bend?
Just on the S-bend, and we're working our way down some pretty good river here. It's high and running good, and fish seem to like it.
Yeah, it seems to be working.
Oh, yeah.
People at home because of their rope. What's it? And then, before I could even get back to fishing, Eric hooked up again.
Well, Tina, here's a message for you.
There you are.
I really wish you could be down here on the river.
And then, just as Eric decided to tease Miss T for not making this particular trip, Dan hooked up. Eric was fast into a great trout that was tail walking all over the hole. Dan had another great fish on. I couldn't help but just stand there and watch in awe. Still, I will admit I was feeling a little bad. I truly wish that T had made this trip. She'd really enjoy this kind of fishing. I was sure, though, she was more than happy at home visiting with her dad and her family, and she'd be more than happy. Right up until she saw this tape, anyway.
Oh, look a lot bigger than that. That's just a 16, 17 incher right there.
That's just all it is, huh? He's making noise over there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Beautiful. Yes?
That's pretty good.
That puts a grin on for sure.
A grin on? Really? Just the fish in the S-bend would put a grin on the face of most fishermen you'd have to beat off with a hammer. So I'm sure there's more than a few of you out there that would question the wisdom of leaving this spot and moving on down the river. They were obviously still biting here, but we wanted to see what was around that next bend, too. We were all catching some tremendous fish. We were fishing primarily streamer patterns, at least I was. That white rabbit hair zonker's always been really good to me up there. Eric was experimenting a little, trying some different things. He even had a tandem fly rig tied up for a while, a bead-headed nymph above a leech pattern, and that was working. We were having such a great time. And I should say, for those of you in the fraternity, yes, it's pretty obvious my fly fishing lacks both in style and technique. Fortunately, for me anyway, the Esnagami River is very forgiving, and so are its trout. You might say I'm the living proof that in order to be successful, fly fishing, at least there, doesn't have to be pretty. Our next stop was the north side of a long, fast run, almost a chute really. I crawled out of the canoe and started rolling one of those zonkers out into the current. And what happened next? Well, let's just say I hope most of you subscribe to the theory as I do. Seeing is believing.
Oh, big hit. Oh, looked like Babe Ruth hit that.
I just saw this big splash out there.
Big fish, oh son, 4 or 5 pounds. Still rolling. Maybe I can't get him out of that current. Whew. Oh son, coming up.
That is a beautiful fish, Kyle.
I can't tell. It might be a small fish and a lot of current. I don't know. I think that's all it is. Come on up there and let me see you one. Oh yeah, it ain't that big a fish.
No,
Nope.
just a little attitudinal.
Just real attitudinal and a lot of fast water.
I got a net if you want me to get a net under him.
You want to put him in the net? I'll put him in your lap.
All right, there he is right there. Beautiful fish. Whoa. Split the hook.
That fish hit that current, I would have swore it was 5 pounds.
Jeez, it's still a beautiful fish.
Gorgeous.
There he goes.
He hit that like a ton of, I was incredible. I thought I had a 5-pound brook trout on it. Hey. Gotta love it. It may be raining. Wait, while you're there. Oh, you might want to throw a fly in there. Just saying. You know, before you get self-defense, you may want to throw a fly in there. Before you get eaten. Oh, there you go. No problem here.
Eric's got one and he's all tangled up.
Tip wrap.
I was just trying to unravel my tip.
I told you, it ain't safe to be in there. You're gonna get out.
Little guy. Oh, got him on a nymph.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
That must be why he's so small.
Yeah, must be.
That's what we refer to as the cheap shot.
Yes, I know. There he is. Little guy. Now, I've got a tandem leech zonker on the bottom and a nymph on the top, beadhead nymph, and he hit the nymph.
Oh,
You got a nice one, Kyle.
My friends, this happened just exactly as I'm showing it to you. We had stopped, throwed our lines in the water, and caught the first train to crazy Trout Town. It was incredible.
If it knocks me over, please give my fly pole to my son. That's
I will.
all I ask.
Watch out, because it's about to.
There he is. Whoa, look at that one right there.
Is that crazy?
Holy jeez.
It's not. It truly
Wow.
isn't safe to be in the water.
That is nicely done. Hang on to a fish like that in this kind of current?
Here, I'll take care of my own dirty work. You get out there and
That's all
run the line before they attack you.
I've been here in, I don't know, how many years? 10 years? 12 years?
Seems like a lifetime.
Seems like 2 days more than forever. And every time I come here, I try something new. Every time we find another way to catch great fish. And I think the one constant in all those years, trout jumping, is that, the great fish. You know, that's a wonderful thing about Esnagami, the river, the lake, the river camp. There's great fish. Thank you, buddy.
There you go.
That's it.
I hate it when these two guys are being nice to each other. You know, something's wrong out here.
Yeah, well, this kind of fishing makes it easy to be nice to you. It does. Thanks.
That's
Well, I'm glad I've got good fishing down here.
Wow. You better throw a line out.
I'll throw a
My
line.
arm is pretty tight, really. This guy in Canada helped me, but still, my shoulder's kind of, he does that, and now I know why. Now I know why he does that all the time. Uh-oh. On the other hand, this is just a little fish. This is just a baby fish. But I'll take him anyway.
As you see, Kyle can talk and fish at the same time.
I can multitask. Come here.
Well, it's obvious my form isn't quite ready for the cover of Fly Guy Monthly, but it should be equally obvious that just a little bit of ability coupled with some effort can truly pay great dividends on the trout-rich waters of the Esnagami. I was having such a great time. We all were, and we were catching so many huge fish. The only bad part of this day is that much too soon it was over. We had to box it up and fly down the river. We were already over an hour late catching up to our float plane so we could fly out of there that evening. I gotta tell you though, that was one of the best days of fly fishing with some truly great guys. I had such a great time. It really was kind of sad it had to end. Listening to the drone of the motor as we worked our way slowly back up the river toward the plane, I couldn't help but thinking, seriously? Did you think we were going to motor past all of that great-looking trout water and not stop for at least one more last cast? Really? And it obviously wasn't just me thinking about one last cast.
Oh, there's one, boss. There. Well, the rain is coming down. We're just about ready to quit, but there's still trout biting. One last cast.
Oh my God, that is a big trout.
Whew, not too bad for
We're
a
going to
rookie.
get a net under him.
A little bit of help from my friend.
There, I see.
There we are.
Oh,
Braden, it's the end of the day. We have caught 100 fish, and fish like that are still biting.
that's
Thank
good
you,
catch.
Mr. Lund, on behalf of...
You're welcome.
let me show you the other side. Well, Mr. Lund, that's one to call it a day on.
I'd say it is. Nice job, buddy.
Thank you, partner, for all the wonderful fish, and on behalf of Dan and myself,
There goes the fish.
the Randall release.
Of course.
Folks, if you want some of the best fly fishing in the world, and spinner fishing, it don't matter. This is it right here. It just doesn't get any better than this. It's been a tremendous day. It's rained a lot. We haven't been able to show you a tenth of the fish we've caught, but hopefully you get an idea of just how much fun a day on the Esnagami River with Mr. Eric Lund. Let me put a little slime on
All right, like that. All right, thank you.
Folks, get your fly rod, your spinning rod, get up here and give this a try. If you've never caught a monster brook trout and then had the joy of catching, I don't know, 8 or 10 more,
Yeah.
or 20 or 30, give Eric a call. They'll take care of you. You'll see the same place we saw, catch the same fish, or maybe even better. And who knows? You might even see me up here again. Thanks again.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Let's go home.
Okay.
Oh,
Now, time for...
maybe one more. One more. Go ahead. Take just one more.
Sun or rain, snow, sleet, doesn't matter, fly fishing or spinning gear. The truth is, the Esnagami River is flat out the finest piece of trophy brook trout fishing water I have ever been blessed to fish. And the memories, the pictures it paints in your mind, they're so vivid, it's so wild, you're the only one there, the trout are huge, it's great people. I don't know what else to tell you other than this is the currency that's most preferred at my memory bank. This place is awesome.
What kind of fly is that?
That's the silver fox.
Ah, the chrome is hatching.
Slide him in here and let him go. 'Cause I'm sure Eric's is at least a full inch longer. Just ask him, he'll tell you. What do you got there, Captain?
Well, I have a northern.
Oh no, that's not a northern. We call those a fastback trout. That's the sports model.
Long type.
Uh-oh. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm fishing on the other side of the boat.
Uh-huh. What do you got? you got a smoker of a brook trout. Huge trout here. How do you do that? I turned my back for a second.
Kind of down beside.
Look at this is a big trout, buddy. How you doing with the pike thing there? I got my hands full. I'm getting issues. We got a 30-inch pike on one side of the boat and a 20-inch trout on the other. Ready to let him go? I don't know what kind of trout fisherman you are, but without further ado, we need to go to the other side of the boat.
Esnagami brookie right there. Real nice fish.
What do you give that? 4 pounds anyway.
Cream that fly. That was cool. On a fly.
Huh.
White zonker.
Well, let's try one more hole, though. I mean, there's no sense quitting right now.
Oh no, we got a little bit of time.
The plane won't be here for an hour. No sense in rushing things.
But we don't. So we missed the plane. Big deal.
Yeah, right. Oh, darn. Sorry.
Guess we'd have to fish for another day.
I guess.
There's a lot of places that have great people. And certainly Eric and Sue Lund, everybody up here does everything imaginable to make sure you enjoy this. But the truth is, if the fish aren't there, it's just a trip. This kind of thing is what makes it a fishing trip. Dan, I'd let you throw a lure out there, but quite frankly, for your own safety, I think you better just stay in the boat.
You're so thoughtful.
Well, yeah, I don't want to have to go home and explain to the grandkids what happened to Papa. Well, you see, this trout came up over the net. Never mind.
Well, there you have it, friends. A great trip shared with some good friends. It just doesn't get a whole lot better than that. This kind of place, this kind of fishing is what we search for all over the place. And Eric and Sue Lund up at Esnagami Lodge and River Camp, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You truly have it in spades. Hey, I want to thank, too, Mr. Dan Fox for all his hard work behind the cameras. Friends, if you get the chance, if this is your kind of thing, you get a hold of Eric and Sue, and they'll take you up there and show you the exact same water, the exact same fish we just did. And I should tell you, if you're a fly guy or gal, maybe you want to stop and pick up a couple of those white rabbit hair zonkers before you go, because, you know, they work pretty good for me. Hey, I hope we see you up there. I hope you got your line tacked into a huge old trout of your own. And if we do see you, well, you know we're going to stop and share a shore lunch, a fire, and a cup. And if I don't see you up there, friends, well, I truly hope to see each and every one of you right back here for another adventure from my Wilderness Journal. Thanks again, Eric and Sue, everybody up at Esnagami Lodge and River Camp. This was a tremendous trip.